Torrential nonstop rain across South Florida.
My backyard looked like a lake,
leaving many submerged in their own neighborhoods. A ruling with mixed reactions.
I am relieved by today's decision made by the court.
Our DC Bureau is live with more on the unanimous decision, and the Panthers grabbed the early lead.
We know we battled really hard today
in their chase for the Stanley Cup. These stories and more coming up on Newsbreak. Hello, South Florida. I'm Valentina Gaspari.
I'm David Lascano. Today is Friday, June 14th, 2024.
Live from the Lee Caplin School of Journalism and Media in North Miami, this is Caplin News.
A major summer weather system storming through South Florida, leaving behind a precious rainbow after drenching both Miami-Dade and Broward counties. The rain also brought flooding and the cancellation of an ICC cricket match this past Tuesday in Broward County Stadium.
Caplin's News' Denise Diaz has more on Broward's rainy days.
Here I am standing by one of the locations affected for the actual heavy rain that have struck South Florida. Many people are concerned and working on the go.
As today and in the coming days, the weather conditions are expected to be a hazard due to the heavy rain, marking the onset of hurricane season. The National Weather Service is on high alert, sending out urgent messages to keep people safety.
My backyard looked like a lake. It was like maybe 4 feet.
The situation was dire out there. Heavy rain turned streets into rivers, cars were stranded, and traffic came to a grinding halt, with reported accidents left and right. Outdoors workers also have felt the brunt of it. Even events and games had to be called off.
You cannot do nothing right now. Stay here. My daughter, the same thing, stay in the place where she works, and just like that.
Authorities are warning citizens to stay home and drive safe. Reporting for Caplin News in Hollywood, my name is Denise Diaz.
It wasn't just Broward County that saw several inches of rain and flash flood warnings in effect. Take a look at what areas of Miami-Dade also looked like. A tropical disturbance across South Florida, Sunny Isles, and North Miami experienced the most rainfall. As of yesterday, these cities experienced more than 20 inches of rain, leaving sidewalks and streets turning into lakes. Ongoing water rescues as more than 3 inches of rain came in from those afternoon storms. Still, many cars waterlogged and not going anywhere. In Dania Beach, cars stopped on the road and houses flooded. Still, the rainfall total was close to 20 inches. But some areas were in luck. In Miami Shores, only some houses experienced flooding that reached their front door. Others were saved from the potential damage. A foot of rain was picked up from the precipitation yesterday. As more rainfall is expected today, South Florida could see another 2 to 4 inches of rain. The risk for additional flooding continues today. Flood watch is still in effect as radar shows additional downpours throughout the day.
Enough with raindrops. In this morning's other big story, it was raining rats as the Florida Panthers put within just one game of winning the biggest prize in hockey. The Cats got off to a hot start during the first game in Edmonton. Florida was up 4-1 going into the third period. The Oilers scored 2 more goals but fell just short. Final score, Panthers 4, Oilers 3. Up to 3 games to none, the Cats are just 1 win away from the Stanley Cup.
Right now we gotta enjoy this win, and we know we battled really hard today, and we had a good win, and I would just enjoy this. Tomorrow we need to recover and get ready for the game. So that's about it. Like we never think too much ahead.
Game 4 is tomorrow night in Edmonton.
The Supreme Court rejected a lawsuit restricting abortion access yesterday, and the reaction to the decision is mixed.
Cassandra Alonso is live in Washington, D.C. from the Supreme Court. Good morning, Cassandra.
Good morning. Reproductive rights groups are calling this a victory after the Supreme Court ruled against a lawsuit wanting to regulate widely used abortion pills. Let's take a look.
Mifepristone is a safe and reliable drug that has been widely available for decades. Though I am relieved by today's decision made by the court, no one should be celebrating this decision.
The FDA approved mifepristone back in 2000 and is prescribed in 2/3 of all abortions in the U.S. The medication is a 2-step abortion pill that is more accessible to women and can be mailed to their homes. Doctors say it's a safer option to treat their patients, and they're concerned about the long-term effects of the ruling.
If that Supreme Court case goes the wrong way, it is going to limit the ability of physicians and other healthcare providers in Idaho and likely in other states to be able to save women's lives. It is going to literally result in deaths. It is going to result in doctors and other healthcare providers leaving those states, and it is going to further worsen our already abysmal maternal mortality rates in this country.
The lawsuit was originally brought to court by doctors and anti-abortion groups that wanted to put limitations on the pill to make it less accessible. The Supreme Court ruled that they lacked the standing to sue, making this a major setback for the anti-abortion movement. This was the first major Supreme Court case since Roe v. Wade in 2002, but will not be the last.
We must remain clear-eyed about the threats to reproductive freedom in America, and we must remain vigilant.
Although this may have been a victory for reproductive rights groups, the fight is not over. Another abortion case is set to take place in a couple of weeks concerning Idaho's strict abortion bans and a federal law requiring treatment for health emergencies. Reporting from Washington, D.C. for Caplin News, this is Cassandra Alonzo.
A little after 6 years after the horrific Valentine's Day shooting at Marjory Stoneman Douglas, the building where 17 students died is set to be demolished this morning, following a delay due to yesterday's weather. It wasn't demolished earlier because prosecutors had jurors tour it during the shooter's 2022 penalty trial. However, Broward School Board Chair and mother of a victim, Lori Al-Hadev, says that tearing down that building is part of the healing process.
We all know that this is one more step in our healing process, and it's important that, 6 years later, that this building comes down.
Some parents of the victims also toured with Vice President Kamala Harris, members of Congress, and state officials across the country to show how improved safety measures, such as a simple bullet-resistant glass in a door window and better alarm systems, could have saved lives.
Thursday, local authorities arrested 4 men in connection with the largest mass shooting Miami has ever witnessed. 3 people were killed and 20 wounded in the incident at Miami-Dade County Concert back in 2021. The suspects were charged with 3 counts of third-degree murder along with other charges and are currently held without a bond.
A goofy dispute resolved this morning as feud between Florida Governor Ron DeSantis and Disney seems to have died down for now in the wake of the Florida Resort's announcement of a $17 billion investment into its parks coming over the next 10 to 20 years. The agreement was part of the settlement that followed DeSantis' years-long legal battle with Walt Disney World. The resort's new oversight committee also has board supervisors directly appointed by DeSantis.
The Marlins trying to win the final game of their series in New York.
That's still ahead, and so's the story.
Immigrants are a really important component of our economy. We have immigrants disproportionately represented as workers in our labor force.
An event focused on immigration near the heart of the federal government. Newsbreak will be back in 2 minutes.
Severe weather can strike anytime, anywhere, but there's a simple way to stay safe. Hey, Jim Cantori here. I stay safe in dangerous weather by planning ahead. You can stay safe too with a few easy steps. Build an inexpensive kit with supplies for your family's needs. Write down important information like phone numbers and medications. Always talk with your family and remember any pets in your planning. Be ready, be safe. Start your plan today at ready.gov/plan.
I don't know why you're so sad. You've got a roof over your head.
You gotta stop with that depression stuff. That's what white people think. You all right?
It just feels like it's coming from everywhere.
Do you want to talk about it?
You can talk to me if you're feeling sad.
Whenever you need to talk, I'm here, okay?
If you're buzzed and doing this, to make yourself feel okay to drive,
ZWX.
you're not okay to drive.
YGKLVW. Regular you.
Immigration events, a gathering this week in our nation's capital. Opinion polls show that immigration is the economy at the top concerns for Americans leading up to the 2024 election.
And Caplin News DC Bureau reporter Amelia Orjuela has more on the story.
The Brookings Institution, a nonprofit organization, hosted a panel of immigration and economy experts who discussed the link between these two topics and the coming presidential election.
Please join me in thanking the panel.
The three panelists, who are well-versed in the economics and politics of immigration, discussed and debated their research and perspective. Tara Watson, the director of the Center for Economic Security and Opportunity at Brookings, explained the role of immigrants in the economy.
Immigrants are a really important component of our economy. We have immigrants disproportionately represented as workers in our labor force. And when we have seen a recent growth in immigration of several million people, we have similarly seen a growth in our labor force.
The panelists agreed that immigrants are beneficial for the economy. However, they shared recent surveys from the Pew Research Center showing that 73% of Americans believe the economy needs improvement. At the same time, Gallup reported that 27% of voters consider immigration the number one concern. They also said that most Americans don't realize the strong connection between these two issues. Ruth Esteira from the Pro-Business American Enterprise Institute shared his insights.
But what are people really concerned about? They're mostly concerned about illegal immigration, by the situation, the disorder and chaos they see at the border.
The panel left the question open about how the incoming president will handle illegal immigration, while voters continue to express their contrasting views. According to the Pew Research Center, 59% of the voters say undocumented immigrants should stay with the country with a legal status, while 41% said they should not. Reporting from Washington, D.C. for Caplin News, I'm Amelia Orjuela.
They say New York is the concrete jungle where dreams are made of, but after last night, apparently Marlins win is too much to ask for. The Fish were not seeing much action on the bases all game, but held a 2-0 lead for most of the game off 2 solo homers from Jake Berger and Josh Chisholm. The Mets would make it in a 1-run game after Nemo snuck into home during a Marlins double play. The Fish would stay on top for most of the game, but J.D. Martinez would play a spoiler on the night by nailing a 2-run walk-off homer to seal it. You are watching Newsbreak, and we're coming right back.
Last week, Brandon met a girl on a dating app. One day after work, he finally found the courage to ask her out. No answer. He started to panic. Was he being too pushy? Maybe it was too...
Hey, sorry I didn't respond. I was driving. I would love to go on a date. How does tonight sound?
Brandon tried to play it cool, but inside he knew. A girl so smart, so responsible. She must be a keeper.
How do you know when you've made the right decision? It's the feeling you get in your gut. The one that tells you what's right or wrong. It's the one that says, sure, I can have a drink. Or the feeling that says, okay, I've been drinking. Now what? It's the voice inside you that says, I'm buzzed. Better leave the car when it's time to go. Plan ahead. Catch a sober ride. Buzz driving is drunk driving.
Every day,
Millions of people are connecting.
and even though we're overcoming obstacles,
Watching each other's backs,
And banding together.
we should still make an effort.
We should still make an
to
effort.
get to know each other,
On a deeper level. Father.
cosplayer,
Mentor.
actor.
It's time we take a step forward.
It's time we take a step forward.
Come together.
And discover
How accepting our differences
can make us stronger.
That's all the time we have for Newsbreak today. I'm Valentina Gaspari.
I'm David Lascano. Get more news at any time on caplinnews.fiu.edu.